following message has transmitted by the request of the President of the United States of America. We are currently going into a national state of emergency. There appears to be a massive storm of some sort starting to form. This weather pattern is unlike anything we have ever seen before. We do not necessarily know what this weather system will bring, only that it is going to be an extremely severe storm that will devastate the entirety of the United States. Well, except for Alaska and Hawaii, because they just get to run away from our problems. Please stay tuned for more information. The following message has transmitted by the request of the President of the United States of America. The weather system that was discovered earlier this morning appears to be dramatically increasing in size. It is only 400 miles off of the west coast, and it rapidly approaching California and the rest of the western coast of the United States. It appears to be forming a massive hurricane and multiple waterspouts. This storm is so strong. This hurricane is going to be the very first Category 7 hurricane, and one of the waterspouts can be categorized as an EF7, over 2 times more deadly than the strongest tornado ever recorded. The storm will be making landfall within the next 60 minutes. All residents of the western coast, please go to a shelter or bunker as far underground as possible, to escape the catastrophic damage this storm will cause. Failure to do so may be exposing you to potential chances of harmful consequences. Please stay tuned for more information. The following message has transmitted by the request of the National Weather Service. The storm, recently named James, appears to be strengthening as it travels over California and into Nevada. The waterspouts, now tornadoes, are strengthening, as are the hurricanes. However, the storm is now producing massive thunderstorms with hail that is over 2 inches in diameter, and lightning strikes so strong and bright, they stay visible in the sky for up to 10 seconds. It appears that one of the tornadoes, the supposed EF7, is not a tornado, but rather a human. A human that is a tornado, with their face stretched along the sides of the tornado. Reports show that this tornado is visible from space, and this tornado is being called the James tornado. The hurricane also appears to have the same problem, as it looks like a human eye from the space. This is also being called the James hurricane. The tornado has killed thousands of people, but not from the debris. Although, please watch out for the debris, because semis are actually being thrown at speeds of Mach 1, which can easily delete your bones. If you get hit by an object traveling at speeds like this, milliseconds before the impact, your bones will run away from your body, in an attempt to not be completely shattered. As a matter of fact, if your bones were to get hit, they wouldn't just shatter. They would splinter so intensely, they would just revert back to cells. You would turn into a pile of cells that would be flying around at ridiculous speeds. The James tornado is expected to travel across the Great Plains and get stronger. Please stay tuned for more information. The following message has transmitted by the request of the National Weather Service. The James tornado appears to not only be getting stronger, but it is also increasing in size. It was only 1 mile wide, but now it is 5 miles wide. meaning if you ever happen to get caught inside of the tornado, you will see the mysterious James. Only, he will be very wide. The speeds inside of the tornado, however, have not appeared to change, still consistently staying at Mach 1. However, new storms are starting to form, which also are things like we have never seen before. The hurricane has weakened slightly, but is still stronger than all hurricanes and typhoons ever recorded. The hurricane is also appearing to have lengthened to over 1,000 miles wide. Hundreds of thousands have died as a result of this catastrophic storm system. Hail with a diameter of 8 inches is falling over Nebraska, with the hurricane, now landstorm, over all of the Great Plains. The James tornado is currently over Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is not expected to exist much longer. Reports show that the hurricane is dumping over 1 foot of rain onto every part of the Great Plains, causing record flooding. The water appears to be getting so high in some places, residents are having to abandon their homes to try and escape this storm. The water levels in parts of Kansas are reaching 3 feet high, since many dams have exploded. For some reason, all the dams that are exploding are doing so in a fiery manner. Even though dams are not supposed to function on anything that is not electric, the dams still seem to be exploding for seemingly no reason. The areas around the dams all seem to be catching on fire from the explosions. Thankfully, none of the explosions have been nuclear. However, there now seems to be a firestorm starting to form over the Great Plains. We are hoping that the floods will put the fire out, but we are not sure. Once again, please take shelter as far underground as possible, in order to rise out the storm. Make sure you bring everything you need to survive for at least 5 days. Failure to do so may result in death. Please stay tuned for more information. The following message has transmitted by the request of the National Weather Service. The firestorms that we were discussing about earlier seem to somehow be combining with the floodwaters to create an oily, fiery water of some sort. Residents are urged to go to a shelter as far underground as possible. Failure to do so may result in death. This fire flood seems to be combining with the hurricane to make one gigantic, colossal storm. The storm is now being called the James Hurricane. Apparently, from space, the Hurricane just looks like a hurricane, except it is on fire. So, there is a potential for a fire rain for as far north as the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and as low as the southern portions of Alabama. We have just gotten reports that an earthquake, with a magnitude of approximately 17, has struck. The epicenter is believed to be somewhere near Nashville, Tennessee. The whole state appears to have been erased. Not wiped off of the map, just erased. The state of Tennessee is now gone, and empty space has taken its place. The fire flood seems to be slightly diminishing in strength, but it is still a massive hazard for everyone. The fire flood is expected to lose strength and completely dissipate within the next hour. The strength of the hailstorms are currently unknown. However, the hurricane, earthquake, and tornado are not losing any power, and are consistently staying strong. Please try to stay as far underground as possible. Make sure you bring everything necessary to ride out the storms. Please stay tuned for more information. The following message has transmitted by the request of the National Weather Service. The fire flood is gone. but it has left thousands of acres of land in wet flames. Thankfully, only 13 and -.2395865 wildfires have started from the fire flood. Now to the earthquake. The earthquake was reported to have lasted for a whole 10 minutes, with people feeling it from as far away as Seattle. The earthquake was so strong, it has completely flattened everything in a 150-mile radius from the non-existent city of Nashville, Tennessee. When we mean flattened, we mean everything. From skyscrapers to people, to even the animals, they have become two-dimensional. If you were to visit these areas, there would be nothing to see. If you look down, it would be everything that was there before the earthquake, but just flat. Now, to the Siren tornado. The tornado has combined with the Siren to make a hurricane-sized storm, rain fire and create winds of up to Mach 1 speeds. Because of the storms combining, the Siren is now taller than the whole country. The top of it extends into Canada, and the south even dips into the Gulf of Mexico. It is so large. The hailstorms, we have just found out, are dropping hail the size of whales. So, if you are in either of the Virginias, you have a potential to be killed by a whale that is completely made out of ice. We have just gotten very startling information. The floods from the Siren are becoming so large that animals that normally live in water are thriving in the waters that the Siren is dropping. This meaning, if you are in the flood zone, which is everywhere from Michigan to Alabama, you could be seeing sharks, fish, water snakes, and other marine animals near you. We have just gotten word that the Yellowstone supervolcano is showing signs of erupting within the next 2 hours. Remember, all citizens in all parts of the United States, we mean all parts, take shelter as far underground as possible. Over 3 million people have died due to this incredible storm. Bring all necessary food and supplies to your shelter. Failing to do so may result in horrible things, such as death. Please stay tuned for more information. The following message has transmitted by the request of the National Weather Service. The winds of the Siren have slowed. They are now at a comfortable speed of 500 miles per hour. The fires from the Siren have subsided, so it is now only a hurricane. The tornado inside of the hurricane is also losing a little strength. Hence the hurricane wind speeds only being at 500 miles per hour. The floods, however, are still growing. Some parts of the country are completely flooded, and are turning into Atlantis-type cities. For example, the entire state of Michigan is now off of the map. Michigan is now a real-life Atlantis. Except all inhabitants are dead. The hailstorms mentioned earlier have combined with the hurricane to hurl huge pieces of hail around at over 500 miles per hour. We have just gotten word that the Yellowstone volcano has erupted. It has sent a gigantic ash cloud into the atmosphere, and we are expecting the average temperature for all states except Alaska and Hawaii to decrease by at least 2 degrees. All areas within a 200-mile radius of the Yellowstone volcano have been deleted. The empty space where Tennessee, however, is starting to become less empty. There is something that is beginning to take its place, but we do not yet know what it is. Again, please take shelter as far underground as possible, to make sure that you do not die. Make sure to bring all necessary articles to your shelter. Please stay tuned for more information. The following message has transmitted by the request of the National Weather Service. The hurricane and tornado have weakened dramatically. The hurricane only has the strength of a tropical storm, and the tornado has weakened to an EF1. The tropical storm only has winds of 60 miles per hour, and the tornado has sustained wind speeds of 90 miles per hour, thus making the one storm have a combined wind speed of 150 miles per hour. The storm is reaching the east coast, and the storm is projected to head into the Atlantic Ocean, where we are hoping that the storm will completely be eradicated. The hailstorms have now completely disappeared. However, the pieces of ice have taken their toll on places all over the country. The whale-sized pieces of ice have destroyed many buildings, taking out large chunks of buildings, making certain cities appear abandoned. No new storms appear to be forming, but there appears to be an anomaly of some sorts. According to the International Space Station, at the empty space where the non-existent state of Tennessee used to be, there appears to be something there, but we are not yet sure of what it may be. All we know is that this mysterious object could turn into something. Please stay tuned for more information. The following message has transmitted by the request of the National Weather Service. The anomaly discovered 2 hours earlier seems to be the final phase of the storms that we witnessed this morning. The empty space where Tennessee used to be is empty no more. Now, in its place, there seems to be a gigantic black hole, with the face of a human, replacing the black aspect of the black hole. So, we are calling this the James Hole of Terror and utter human extinction. This hole appears to be sucking everything towards it. This is the end of the world as we know it. Reports show that the closer you are to being sucked into the hole, you will be able to hear music starting to play. We believe this song is Megalovania, but we are not completely sure. All we know is that if you hear music that gradually increases in volume, you will be dying shortly. Reports show that if you go through the James Hole of Terror and utter human extinction, you will still be able to survive. The problem is, you will be sent to the place. There is said to be thousands of skeletons with one blue eye, and ghastly-looking objects that appear to be able to shoot white rays out of them. Going back on our previous statement, if you pass through the James Hole of Terror and utter human extinction, you will have a very good chance of dying. The problem is, as it has been recently discovered, there is no way to escape the pull of the black hole. The entire Earth will be sucked into this hole. Alaska and Hawaii won't be able to escape our problems this time. But the astronauts aboard the International Space Station will. Damn astronauts. We will have our revenge, astronauts. Well, technically, you will die anyways, because you'll run out of food pretty soon. After this message, the emergency alert system will no longer be in service.
Thank you so much for watching this EAS custom scenario. That I made in like a couple hours, I don't know. But make sure to smash that subscribe button, not once, but twice. Make sure to double smash that like button and absolutely smash that dislike button. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure to leave your scenario suggestions in the comments section down below. And thank you so much for watching.